can speak into your life, and they can. Thanks,
Yep.
Quentin. So the board can speak into your life, and they can hold you accountable for things, because they don't have. There's no sort of hidden agenda, because we're all sort of from different actual companies and so on. And the whole premise is, a lot of people say it's lonely at the top. It's not. It's only lonely if you don't have a team around you, in which case you're probably not leading very well. So you should really always have a team of mentors and advisors, coaches. That's very expensive to try and do just by yourself. So that's sort of the idea of the next level group, the advisory boards. And yeah, that's it. So we've it's a strong team. Got to get to know everybody. Every now and then we actually meet with COVID, which is interesting. I think I remember, Vic, when I first met you, we've been seeing each other for a year, and you're like, nice to meet you eventually. I'm like, but I see you all the time. It's like, oh, we've never actually met. That's so, but it's actually true. Anyway, that's what we do. And then every now and then we have a guest speaker. And today we have Este. And Quentin's going to introduce Este. Thank you very much, Este, for your time. We really appreciate it. And when we have guest speakers, then we open it up to other people coming and joining us and seeing what's going on and learning a little bit as to what's going on. So if you are a guest here, you're welcome. It's really, really nice to have you here. If you could send your 10,000 Rand check to Quentin, he will sort out all the. No, I'm kidding. It's really nice to have you on the group, and hopefully you get some benefit. Quentin,
Great. Yeah, I'm very excited to have Este here today. I think I've invited her a couple of times. I finally managed to get her on the group. Right. Just by introduction, Este is an accidental LinkedIn expert, as she's come to be known, and she can maybe explain why it's accidental. But as you can see, with the amount of people who've shown up today, in terms of LinkedIn, I think there's a lot of people who want to know more about LinkedIn and know that their profiles on LinkedIn is probably not the best ones and not getting the results that they are. Well, we got the right person in the house. Este is certainly not just an accidental LinkedIn expert, but as far as I've met, is probably know more about LinkedIn than anybody else I've met before. She understands the algorithms. She understands how LinkedIn works in the back end. And she helps people do lead generation through LinkedIn, but I'm sure she can speak to all sorts of topics around that. And I actually recently went through her course that she's doing with Boost Sales, and it certainly opened up my eyes and kind of blew me away in terms of all the things that is possible with LinkedIn. I think a lot of people always by default think of the Facebooks and the Instagrams and those sort of things, but LinkedIn has massive potential. Yeah, so I don't know if Este, if you want to talk about LinkedIn today or talk about your dogs or marine biology, that could be other topics we could cover, but I'll leave that up to you. Thank you very much for coming today, Este.
It is such a pleasure. It's always awesome to meet fellow business owners and entrepreneurs. Life is hard enough, especially for us solopreneurs. So it's always nice to get folk together and chat and discuss and help each other out. So yes, I've been in this game for about 25 years. I'm only recently started realizing when I train that I'm starting to need a little bit of Botox, even with the Zoom filters. So we are busy sorting that out. Thank you for the donations that are going to come through for that. But we're all kidding aside. I started in traditional marketing, and I did all the right things and have the masters and so forth, of which I use absolutely nothing. And then about a couple of years ago, when I started my own company, I ventured into digital, and then unfortunately got into bed with two partners that were less than ideal for me. And I was the rainmaker and so forth, and got the clients and so. And one of my partners was the person that did the actual LinkedIn stuff. So when we parted ways, when I said I became an accidental LinkedIn expert, it was very fast. I'm one of those hold my beer people. If you tell me I can't do something, I will say, watch me. So that's what happened. And then LinkedIn became my thing. And I think during the pandemic, the platform has exploded. It really has. And many folk always say to me, well, you know, yeah, we know there's about 700, 800 million odd people on LinkedIn, but they're not in South Africa. They're not worldwide. That's in the US. And the latest stats have shown that 75% of people that are active on LinkedIn are outside the US, which is actually quite something, you know, and especially if we're thinking around doing business globally. I mean, it's such a powerful platform. It's made the world so small. And if I just think about the relationships that I've been able to build in the last couple of years on LinkedIn, and the fact that I am so blessed that I don't need to do outbound lead generation. All my leads come through me, through LinkedIn and through content that I post and so forth. But it's also, I want to just preface that with saying this is a long-term game, guys. It's not, you know, walking into the bar and proposing marriage and naming your kids before you've met the poor bloke or lady. But I do want to say there's some good news and there's bad news. And for those that have ever heard me talk, know this very well. And it's LinkedIn is a science, which is a good thing. But LinkedIn is a science, which is the thing that always catches us up. Now, why do I say that? It really is knowing what lever to pull. So if you pull a specific lever, you're going to get a specific result. And that's why when I always work with my students and my clients, they'll come to me and go, Este, we're stuck over here, or that's not happening. I go, well, you haven't pulled that lever, or you're pulling this lever wrong, or your timing is wrong on that, or you're focusing on the wrong aspects. And it really is, that's where it starts. And the other aspect is that LinkedIn is a relationship tool. It's not a lead generation tool, right? The leads come as a byproduct of you creating relationships. And it shortens the time span of you having to, in the olden days, remember when we had to go knock on doors as salespeople with the prospectus under our arms and we were selling whatever we were selling. It shortens that only in the sense that you have access to more people, but you still have to build that relationship. And this is where 99% of folk go wrong on LinkedIn. They think it's a shortcut in terms of I can connect with somebody and then immediately just sell my products or services. It doesn't work that way. All right. So what I'm going to do today is I'm not a presentation person. I'm a show and tell person. So I'm going to delve into my LinkedIn and take you through, gosh, it's like, where do I start? I'm going to take you through some things that I can do within, how long have I got, Quinton?
Sorry, I was just on mute. Este, you could probably talk for as long as you like. We've got the whole hour, but
okay,
obviously
cool.
want to give enough time for questions as well.
Q&A.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm going to delve in, guys, and I'm going to focus really on things that are critically important. Quinton spoke about the algorithm. I cannot stress to you enough how important this algorithm is and how it can absolutely work against you. So I'm going to give you some insights today as to how the algorithm works. And just to confuse you even more, because why would life be easy for us? The mobile algorithm is different to the desktop algorithm. Okay. And the problem with that is because they've got two different teams working on it. And it's bizarre for all of us. And us OGs, I'll keep saying to LinkedIn, please, can you guys stop, you know, launching things like LinkedIn stories and fix the algorithm so that they're both the same. But just so that you know, that's the avenue. Why is that important? Because we used to have about 53% of people being on LinkedIn on mobile. And, you know, we knew during the pandemic that desktop really was the way to go. Now that things are starting to look slightly more normal, dare I say it, everything's moved back into mobile. All right, so that impacts the type of content you are producing, the way you connect and so. But let's delve into my profile. Please excuse all the 9 million tabs I have open because I'm busy doing client research. So a couple of things that we need to delve into, right? Your profile is your welcome mat. Okay, so how LinkedIn works is it's in love with Google. Loves Google, right? In terms of how people search and so forth. The problem is that how people search on Google is different though how they search on LinkedIn. So on LinkedIn, I may search for something like lead generation, right? And you'll see, thank heavens, boost sales pops up. But On Google, I would be searching for something like, how do I get leads for my business using LinkedIn? Right. So can you see the way people are searching for information on the two platforms are different? So why should you care about that? Because when you're busy building your profile, that's where things start becoming really very important. So we talk about the above the fold, right? And that really is when you take your screen and you cut your screen at the bottom, that's what everybody sees, is that above the fold, right? And, you know, they call it a 3-second test, a 7-second test, the whatever types of test. Basically what you want to make sure is when someone hits your profile,
because I'm going to be taken here for
they feel,
almost an hour. Yes, I suggest you can.
Hi, Sissy, can you just mute your phone, or Quinton, can you put him on mute?
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Este.
So the important really is here that you have a profile where people arrive and they go, oh, yes, I can see what Sally does. I recognize this. I can relate to what Sally is promising me. I want to go and see more, right? I'm not going to do that if certain words are not screaming at me. All right. So you guys, when you start working on your profiles, you've got to be so clear. And this is what no one likes to do. And I saw it again with my students in the last live training I did. And everybody skips this. And it's not unique. No one wants to go and really delve into what I call your power person, your ideal avatar. No one does that because it's boring and it's difficult. It really is very difficult. But if you don't understand the intricacies of what problems you solve and for who, you will be talking to everybody and targeting nobody. I can't tell you how many times businesses come to me and say, well, everyone is my client. Everyone is not your client. All right, I hate to break it to you, but everyone is not your client. You want to be able to niche down. And I'm not saying you need to niche down into students between 5 and 6 or whatever the case is. But if I land on your page and your profile, and I'm not 100% sure that this is for me, I'm going to move on. Okay, so that's very important, but I can't go into all the science about that, but we want to make sure that we are aligned there. So a couple of little tips and tricks. Firstly, what you want to do here is you'll see a lot of times people have this people also viewed. I always have a, I'm sorry, Lorette, always have a guinea pig. So you'll see here, people also viewed, right? What does this mean? When someone pops onto your profile, we are people of distraction. You want to keep them on your profile. And this is what LinkedIn very kindly gives to us to say, well, people that viewed your profile have also viewed these people's profile. These are a lot of times your competitors. So what you want to do is you want to pop into over there. You want to go into settings and privacy. You want to go down, right? And you want to go into the site preference and you're going to go people also viewed and you want to switch it off. Right. I'm not wanting to give my ideal target audience any reason to leave my profile. So you want to make sure that that is off. Okay. The next thing you want to do as well, which is quite interesting, and I always find it fascinating where I just need to find where because I always change it. Is how people get there. Sorry, I'm going to find it. They've just moved it again. How they let people see their invitations on in terms of their connections. Where have I now lost this thing? I will find it in 4 seconds. Good heavens, am I going mad? I must be going mad. Here we go. Sorry. Visibility. So visibility of here, this connections, you want to switch off. What does that mean? So if I go back into LinkedIn, many a time, what you'll see is, come on, go back to LinkedIn. When you go into someone's profile, I don't know, right? And if this is blue, then I can literally click on that button and I can go and see all your connections. So if you're a competitor of mine, I hold or cross my fingers and go, hopefully you haven't switched people also viewed, and your connections off, because now I can immediately go and see who your connections are. Thank you very much for that lead generation list. And I can go see other people that have viewed your, that are similar to you in your industry. You're shorting my lead generation time exactly very, very short. Okay, so those are two settings that are critically important that you get right from the get-go. Then what you want to make sure is LinkedIn indexes images. That means that I don't save an image as WhatsApp image, PNG, whatever the case is. Every single image that I load, whether it's my profile image, whether it's my banner, whether it's an image in a post, whatever the case is, I save as my keywords. So remember now, when you've gone and done your research, you will now know that people are searching for LinkedIn lead generation, or in my instance, you'll see it's social selling, marketing, sales navigator. So every time I go and save any type of image or any alternative text that I'm doing in a post, I save it as my keywords, because then every single time somebody searches for that, it just gives me more real estate on my LinkedIn profile. There is so much real estate on your LinkedIn profile, guys. If you go have a look at mine, you'll see I have maximized every little nuance where I'm almost like Liam Neeson. I'm going to come find you even if you can't find me. It's really, it's one of those avenues. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are saving those images. Many a time, we've got a banner. Sometimes it's the blue one, the very generic LinkedIn one. And we have a profile photograph over here, which is maybe of us at a wedding or holding our dog, or whatever the case is. Now, remember, when I'm hitting your profile, within 3 odd seconds, I need to know, is this interesting? Do I want to talk to this person? Do they look professional? Can I see them, right? Are they close up? Many a time as well, folk do their profile photographs and it's this very, very small, I can barely see that Este wears glasses and she's got a very busy background, right? So you want to make sure when you've got your profile image here, that your face is 50 to 60% of the circle. And it's very easy to fix that. If you go, you will see my photograph is much bigger. And I just zoom in. And then the other thing you want to do is you want to go to filter, and you want to do either spotlight or illuminate. And the reason is because it then just brightens up your entire photograph that you pop. Now, I I used to do black and white, and then I did some color, but it depends with my banner. And I have this really scientific way of testing this, and I'm going to patent this test. I call it my 3-second test. I close my eyes and I open it. And the first thing I see is that what I want people to see. And if your answer is no, you need to change. I don't want people seeing my profile picture. Look, I know I'm hot. I don't need people to tell me I'm hot, right? So what I want them to see is this banner. And that's why you want to make sure that you are siphoning people's views exactly where you want it to go. So they don't get distracted by all the things, by a loud background, or you wearing a very, very loud shirt. The previous one I can show you here, I was wearing a red shirt. And I knew it wasn't the right shirt, and I knew it, but red is a powerful color to wear. But for some reason, it just jarred with the way that my entire process worked. And then what you want to go and do is you want to go to a site called Photo Feeler, right? And I think it still has my old tests in here. So we're going to log in with LinkedIn. So what Photo Feeler does is you log in with your LinkedIn profile. It's the easy thing to do. And you then go and pop your photograph in. And then what it does is that people vote on your behalf to say, well, this is how I view your photograph. Look, it's by no means, you know, a black and white process. And sometimes people are just voting to get votes for themselves. But at least it gives you a nice little indication as to how you are being perceived. Okay, so that's number one. Make sure this banner, guys, is interesting. The last one I had was leads don't pay the bills. I cannot tell you how many people connect with me by going, I love your banner, or I love this, or I love your headline, or a post you made. So don't be boring. LinkedIn is not for boring folk, but it's also not, don't do the cat memes and so forth. All right, next thing is this little very important headline. I don't care that you're a CEO. I know you care, and your mom probably cares a lot, and that's great. So you can put a little CEO plaque down for yourself in the kitchen where you can see it, and you can brag to your wife. I have to tell you the story, sorry, because now it reminds me. So I had a student once who, while we were finishing up the training, and I don't say this to toot my horn, I'm not going to explain the story now, but she was going through, and I said, guys, how are you feeling? Or how's it doing? What do you want to say? And she actually started crying to say thank you as to how the training went, you know, because her business was in trouble. And it was really quite touching. But my husband had a t-shirt made for me to say, my wife makes people cry. So have a t-shirt made for your wife or your husband that says, my wife is a CEO, or so forth, and keep it over there. I want to know here what you're going to do for me. What problems do you solve for me, right? Are you, and what keywords can you pull in here? So you can see again, when you go through my profile, you will see my URL. It doesn't say Este Pretorius, it's my keywords. My images are my keywords. I've got keywords in here, keywords in there. When you go down here at the bottom to my experience, I don't call myself CEO. I've got my keywords on here, because then when people are searching on LinkedIn or on Google, my keywords appear. I'll show you another little quick trick while I'm here. On Google as well, remember guys, you want to stand out. So if someone's searching for me on Google, you can immediately see LinkedIn lead generation trainer, because I've added that as my experience, as opposed to Este Pretorius, CEO of Boost Sales. You don't know what Boost Sales does. Got no idea. Here are, apologies, here are again the my headline. Do you see how important all these little aspects become to create your real estate, so that when people are searching any which way, guys, that they can see who you are, what problems you're solving, and whether you're the right person for them. This is what makes you stand out from everybody else that just has their normal CEO, MD, or whatever the case. Okay, so I'm going to just move that over there. Right, so we are then back up here. So a lot of times people say to me, well, what do I say? I don't know what to say. A great way of looking at it, there's a couple of ways you can look at your headline. And I found a customer-centric and a keyword-centric one very useful. But this sometimes is hard to write. So a quick formula that you can look at is I help, and then who is it that you help? Entrepreneurs, stay-at-home moms, whatever it is. Achieve what? What do you help them achieve? Improve their free time, maximize their revenue. By what? Can you put a figure in? 40%, 32%. Remember, the more specific you can be, the better. Our brains go to negative numbers always. So if you can be 32.7%, even better, because now I'm not negating the answer. By doing what? What is your process? So I help who achieve what, by what number, through my process, your specific methodology, your patented process, whatever it is. Okay, but you tell me immediately. I identify because I can see, oh, I'm a stay-at-home mom, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a business owner, whatever the case is. I can see what result you're going to get me, because I also you've done the homework for your power person, your ideal avatar. So you know what my problem is. You're not guessing. Okay. And then I understand the number. So I've got something quantifiable to work with you. And then I see, okay, well, you're differentiated because you've got this specific methodology. So like marketers are a dime a dozen, guys. We're on every street corner. The days of us, any of us really having a unique selling proposition in terms of what it is we offer or what we sell is very limited. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are attaching yourself to a specific USP, whether it's how you do something. What's that saying with Simon Sinek, that they can copy the what, they can't copy the why. That needs to come through, because that's something that I don't have. Someone asked me the other day, a client asked me who my competitors are. I said, I don't have competitors. And he was all taken aback. And I said, I'm not trying to be facetious, but I don't have competitors. I have a lot of individuals in this industry that do the same as me, but there's a lot of them that they have different approaches to life. Your tribe will find you. Okay, I have a very specific tribe. My tribe, take it like it is. I call a spade a shovel. I will drag you into success. You know, when you sign up with me, you get me, you don't get my team. So your tribe will find you. Don't get too hung up on trying to copy your competitors or trying to beat your competitors or so forth. Find your why and make sure that is your USP. Okay, next thing you want to do is, oh, heavens alive, I haven't updated my profile after my last, what's his name? But I'll quickly show you why. So you'll see over here, okay, I haven't called my company Boost Sales. I could, because that's my company name. But remember now, I'm wanting to just again work in those keywords. So I'm working in LinkedIn lead generation, training, social selling. I'm explaining to you what I do, but my company's name is Boost Sales. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is, if we go down here, education. Now, many folk will put their education in, and that's fine. And if you've got a very specific education, like if you need a specific certification or whatever the case is, you may put that in there. I wanted people to have it easy to find me, easy to do business with me. So I want to make it quite evident that you can get hold of me any which way you like. I can never understand why people don't give out their email addresses and cell phone numbers, because now I've got to go and figure out, you know, you only give me your LinkedIn profile. So now I've got to try and connect with you, and I've got to try and do this and then talk to you, and maybe you won't talk to me. So here's a little trick that I do. I go into education. I say plus, right? I'm now just going to edit it because so that it's right. I then add my contact details and I save it. I add keywords again. Everything is keywords. And then what you do is you move it to the top. Now see what happens. My cell phone number and email address right at the top. You don't have to go look for me. I've got you. I've got you covered. Okay. So that's a very important little bit that you can work. So we now have keywords in here. We've got our images saved as keywords. We've got keywords in our headline. We have keywords in our business page title. It's easy to find you. Right. So now let's go into, and I can't go into everything else, and I want to get to Q&A. This section, I cannot tell you how important this section is, guys. If you want to spend time on anything on your profile, your about section is 30% more indexed than any other piece of real estate in your LinkedIn profile. But by this one, it really is much more of a science. So I don't have time to go into that. What I want to do now is I want to show you my 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 strategy. Because 100% of students and clients I work with tell me I don't know how to write a post. So I want to start off with LinkedIn likes consistency. So what does that mean? It doesn't like you posting on a Tuesday and then maybe in 3 weeks time and then possibly in, you know, November. Pick a consistent process and stick to it. So I'll give an example. I've been hectically busy this week, besides the fact that I've got, you know, been ill. So I post on Tuesdays and Thursdays between 10 and 12. So I skipped yesterday. I just couldn't get there. Will I post today? No, I won't. Why? Because the algorithm will just punish me. So pick your times and your days. If you start with once a week, stay with once a week. Ideal situation is to do it at least twice a week. And if you've got a business page, on your profile and on your business page. So let's go into this little 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So how does the algorithm work? So the algorithm works as follows. So this is what people do. They go and they scroll and they scroll and they scroll. And then they look and they go, oh, here's something interesting, and they stop. I think the stat at the moment is 90% of people don't publish on LinkedIn. So you're only getting about 10% of people of 800 odd million folk that publish on LinkedIn. That's a really small number, okay? Which, number one, if you are somebody that's now going to publish, you're going to stand out from the crowd immediately. But number two is only 3% of people engage. What is engaging? Where they click a like or a comment or whatever the case is. 3%. So what did LinkedIn do? They said, well, we can't punish content publishers because people aren't commenting. That's not fair. So the algorithm works in two ways. Number one is dwell time. So dwell time is when people are spending time on your post. So you never want to write a post where someone doesn't click see more, right? That's the first thing. The longer I spend on your post, the higher LinkedIn goes, okay, people are spending time here. You see how these automated ones pop in? That's ideal because that triggers the algorithm to go, oh, Taryn wrote a great post here. People are enjoying it, so we will show it to more people. Remember, with every social media platform, guys, they want people to enjoy the platform. So LinkedIn will take your post and they will show it to about 3 to 5% of your followers and connections. That's it. When you post, not everyone sees your stuff. Only when someone's interacted with it and the algorithm goes, okay, we see there's some dwell time here. People are spending time in the post or people are interacting. Will it go and show it further? So dwell time is critically important, right? So that's why you want to spend time on creating things that people will enjoy. And the only way to know what that is to test it. Then we've got the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 strategy. There is a science to writing a LinkedIn post. And luckily, I'm going to teach it to you. So number one, what you want to do is, number 5 is, you want to have at least 5 lines. Why? Because then someone has to click see more. See, for instance here, but this is inside a group, but I'm just going to use this as an example. There is nothing for me to click. There's nothing for me to consume here. So I'm just moving on, right? I don't really have connections with bad examples. So it's becoming increasingly difficult to show and tell. Yeah, it really is becoming difficult to show and tell because the majority of my guys. Okay, so I can show you here. Right. So I'm sorry, Sandy. So Sandy has shared a post, which, by the way, you never want to share a post. Number one, just don't ever share a post because it's seen as duplicate content on LinkedIn. So now there's nothing for me here to click see more on. So I'm not spending time consuming your content, which is what you want me to do. You want to write me a little sentence there. And I normally say, can you ask a question or can you make a statement? And it's not clickbait. It's a statement or a question that's going to intrigue me. So the last one I wrote was on the amount of time I spent on cleaning notifications. And I think it was literally as simple as, there we go. That was my headline, right? That's the amount I'll never, doing what you may ask, people are going to click see more. I've got very high engagement, very high views, and this one will keep growing as it goes, right? Because this is interesting. People are sick of boring stuff. So you want to do at least 5 lines. Number 4 is you want to do between 3 and 5 hashtags. Okay. 3 and 5 hashtags. Here's the important bit. There is this little Google, what do you call them? Extension that tells you what the hashtags are. So if I just pop in here quickly and show it to you, it's called LinkedIn hashtags. So go onto Google and go and download this little hashtag. Why? I cannot tell you how many people use a hashtag that have 0 followers. They make hashtags up. So you've got to get your keyword strategy right together with your dwell time so that your post gets seen. If people don't see your post, they won't be able to interact with it. You won't be able to have any leads come through to you. You want to get people to see your content. Okay. So you want to use between 3 and 5. Have one that's for your company as well. Play around, see what is working for you. Right, so that's number 4. Number 3 is these glorious little buttons over here, like, comment, and share. So sharing is not great for anybody on any range of any system because LinkedIn sees it as a duplicate post. What you want to make sure you've got within the first 2 hours is a comment, at least a like. So the 3 are the 3 viral actions that we talk of. The 2 is within 2 hours, the 2 golden hours. If you do not get anything within those first 2 golden hours, LinkedIn will just deprioritize your post and you will find that your engagement rate and your views will be 150 odd, or whatever the case is. So find an accountability buddy. And obviously somebody that's in your realm and in your group of business that it makes sense. I mean, I've got some clients that's in the meat processing business. There's no real point in me going to comment on that because what do I know about meat processing? So be mindful as to who you allow into your accountability group, but make sure then when you're posting, you say, hey guys, I've posted. Can you please just go and interact? Because you've got to get that interaction within the first 2 hours, right? And then the number 1 is for every single post or comment that gets made on your post. And this is the irritation thing, but you've got to do it. So if every single one, you will see, I go and reply. Every single one. Why? Because then the algorithm goes, oh, here's a discussion going. Oh, this is great. I haven't replied great this week because I haven't been feeling well. But the ideal situation here is that you ask questions of them. If you're not getting anybody to comment on your post, go call out people. So, you know, for instance, go, hey, Quentin, I know you probably find this interesting. Let me know what your thoughts are. Tag the person, right? But make sure that they know they're going to be tagged so that they can respond to you. So 5 is 5 lines at least. Try and be interesting so the person clicks more. 4 is at least between 3 and 5, 4 hashtags. I use 4. Test. 3, those are your important viral actions. 2, you want an action within the first 2 hours. Very, very critical. And 1 is you want to go and comment and reply to every single comment that gets made. And the important thing is the quicker you can reply to those comments, the better your views and engagement rate is going to be. So what I normally do is I'm active on LinkedIn for 20-30 minutes. I show the algorithm, I'll warm it up. I go, hey, I'm here, start getting ready for me. I then go and post. I get interactions. I reply to comments and so forth. And then the algorithm goes, great. And it shows my content to all and sundry. So those are like very, very quick snapshots of what you can look at. And I hope that helped some. And if you guys got some questions, then you must lock and load.
Absolutely. Este, that was fantastic. Again, I just did the course with Este and it was a 5-6 week course. So it's for her to cram in such a lot of stuff in this 45 minutes was amazing. And again, I already learned a lot of stuff, and luckily I was part of the course, so I've got the recordings to go back on, and yes. I realize I've got some more work to do, especially on my power person research, Este. I've got to
I'm watching you
work on that. All right, any questions from the group? I don't know if we could just maybe people put their hands up, or if you just want to put it in the chat, then we can go from there. All right, Sally.
Yes, thank you so much, Quentin. I think firstly, Este, that was amazing. I think you've just unlocked so much. You know, I agree with you. You kicked down doors, and I think we'll get along very, very well. So I have a question, 2 questions. The second one is number 2 of the 5432. If you could just explain that to me, I think I missed it a little bit. And then the second question is, how important is a premium account? I used to have a premium LinkedIn account. I trialed it, actually got some nice leads. You know, you can see who viewed your post, who's been viewing your profile. It's a confident boost, but really in terms of what you've been teaching about. How important is a premium account?
Okay, cool. So the 2 refers to the 2 golden hours. So as soon as you've posted, you have 2 hours in which to get a reaction to your post, whether that's a like or a comment. Comments carry so much more weight, but you want to make sure you phone Quinton and you go, Quinton, I've posted, do something on my post, please. So that the algorithm then goes, oh, okay, we're all right here. Sally's written something that's half decent. We'll let it go and we'll show it to more people. So the first thing is those first 2 hours where someone has to interact with your post, either like or comment. Then your keywords that you've used before are so important, because then LinkedIn starts to go, okay, well, now who do I show this to? So they'll show it to your followers, they'll show it to your connections, but more importantly, they will show it to the followers of the keywords first. All right. So you got to pick those keywords very, very carefully. All right. Be very, very mindful as to the keywords that you're using. So that's the 2 hours. For premium, it depends. It depends what you want to do. So if you are wanting to do lead generation, you can get away with using the Boolean free search. You know, I always say, like, if you're not going to be actively using it day in and day out, the $1,200 a month is probably not worth your while, right? Rather learn how to do Boolean search properly. And I'm going to start breaking up. I haven't even told Quinton, I'm going to break my entire course up into different modules, so that you can actually just buy, if you're just wanting to learn how to do search, then you can just buy the little search module as opposed to having to buy the entire massive course. So learn how to do Boolean search. I can't live without Sales Navigator. Sales Navigator has exponentially improved the way they do things. And because the majority of guys go for quantity, I go for quality. So a lot of lead gen specialists will say to you, oh, I'm going to get you 400 leads a month. I don't. I say to you, at best, you're probably going to get about 3. But those 3 are going to change your business, right? And the reason you're going to get those 3 is because I actually know that you're eating Oreos for breakfast in the morning with a cup of tea. And the reason I know that is because of the way I do the searches on Sales Navigator. So it depends on the time you want to spend. It depends on the objective you want to reach. It is lovely to see how many people are viewing your profile. A quick little tip: if you want people to follow your business page, do an ad for free. You will get astronomical amount of people following your business page. That's a quick little tip for you to get those numbers up. It really just does depend, Sally, what it is you're wanting to focus on. I can't live without it. Yeah. But then again, I use it religiously.
Wow, thank you so much, Este. Brilliant.
Pleasure.
All
Gary.
Right. Hi, Este.
How's it?
Yeah, thanks for being on our program today.
It's a pleasure.
Very good points. I'd like to talk about business pages, because say now, we got clients that have a lot of business pages, and we sort of have a reciprocity arrangement. If my business posts, then you share, I share yours, you share mine. So we syndicate the content. So if someone, I'm just going back to what you said about duplicate content, which I know is not a good thing. Google looks for it, and so do they all look for it. But if I take a business page and I repost it onto my page, surely that's not duplicate content. With add a few hashtags as well.
Yeah, no, it's not. That's the way to get around with it. Rather than sharing, do you copy and paste the whole thing and just put it in your personal profile, or are you sharing it?
If I see someone's posted on their business, then I'll share it into my private feed, so I can share their content and syndicate their content from their business page.
If you're trying to help them, that's the right strategy.
Okay.
If you're trying to help
we do that, and I think it gets some.
Strategy.
Sorry, say again.
So if you're trying to help them, it's the right strategy. If you're trying to help yourself, it's the wrong strategy.
No, but they're my clients. So I want to share all my customers' businesses into my profile. So I think that's helping my clients, because they're my customers, and I want to get. If I have a few thousand followers, then surely it goes to some of them, like you say, depending on keywords and interests and all the algorithms. But at least it gets syndicated into my stream, if you know what I mean. Is that
What
the
you
right
need to ask
strategy from your point of view?
What you need to ask your clients, and I mean, I'm very mindful what I share, because you know, so that the algorithm knows who I am. So just be mindful of that. Number one. Number two is ask your clients, on the posts that you do share, ask them what happens to their numbers, because then you can immediately see if they're getting a boost in their numbers, then you know you're doing
I'm just
good
putting
for
my
them.
photo off, my video off, because I can't, you keep cutting out, but carry on, please.
Okay.
I'm just going to turn that off.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So just ask them about the numbers. Remember, it all comes down to the numbers. So once they've posted and you've shared, then ask them, guys, keep an eye on this post, please, so that I can see what the impact of me sharing your content is having.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And then,
Tony,
yeah. Thank
Tony,
you.
sorry, Gary, are you done? Okay.
Yeah,
Tony.
thanks, Quentin. I've got a bad line today.
All right, no worries.
Thanks. Thanks, Este. Very good. Este, meet Alison. Alison, meet Este. Alison is one of our members and is absolutely brilliant at helping people put their 30-second pitch together. So I really think you two should connect. Just hashtag just saying. Was that a good hashtag? Okay. I've got a very quick question. I see sometimes on profiles like your profile, it comes up with the word author next to the name. Firstly, is that a good thing? Secondly, how do you get that, assuming you've written a book?
Yeah, it's no, author comes around when you're the author of the post.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. But just in terms of general, you know, you've got to, people always say to me, well, if I've written a book, or Quentin's going to laugh at me because I've been threatening to do this for ages, I just haven't had the time. Is to, if you are an Amazon bestseller, or you have a book or something, or you are featured in certain places, then absolutely put it on your banner. You know, it adds to your credibility. You've just got to sort of ask yourself, I've got 220 characters in my headline, so it's an important piece of real estate. So is it important for people to know I'm an author, a speaker, or how I'm going to solve their lives?
Right.
We sometimes get caught up a little bit in our own egos, because it's nice, you know, it's like, but you've got to sort of ask the question, does anyone care?
Yeah. I suppose it depends what they're looking for. If you're a professional non-executive director, I guess it's really important that you're saying I'm a professional non-executive director, right? And you're looking for other, right. Thank you.
Cool.
Pleasure.
There's a question from Sally. Said, you mentioned different algorithms for mobile and desktop. What you've just shared, are these tips for mobile or for desktop?
For both. The difference is in mobile is the type of content. So on desktop, and it's logical sense. On desktop, we can spend more time consuming content. So stuff that works well on desktop is SlideShare, articles, you know, long form posts, and so forth. If you think about, and that the algorithm measures dwell time quite seriously on desktop. If you think about mobile, I mean, who is going to download a PDF on their mobile?
Yeah.
Not really. I'm not going to sit and scroll and read and me at the best of times is not going to read a massive, you know, post on LinkedIn. So the only reason I mention that is because you want to change up your content strategy. The bigger the variety that you can use, the better, so that you're hitting both mobile and desktop users, and then you see how you know, your reach and connections and engagement rates improve from that side. But it really is just to understand dwell time is not as important on mobile as it is on desktop. And the variety of content, like I know as well, just to test, when I do video or imagery, my content just tanks. I don't know what it is with my peeps, but they hate imagery and video. They like me to explain things to them in detail. I would never read my posts. They're too long, but my audience seems to love it. So I don't know. I'm like a quick person. Like, give me the cliff notes.
All right, there's two more hands. Alison and Sally, I don't know who was first. Alison,
maybe I can go just to follow up the question. Quick one.
Yeah.
In your research, Este, what are people using? Are people mostly on mobile, or are people consuming on desktop? Thank you.
The stats say mobile. The thing is, and I'm not 100% sure about this, right? People spend time on Facebook. They invest time on LinkedIn. That's a very big difference. So when someone is on LinkedIn, you're not exactly surfing the net. You're not so, hey, let me check out the cat meme. You're there to go and make connections. You're there to read thought leadership. You understand? That's very hard on a mobile phone, but it also depends on you as a person. So for me, I'm on Facebook on my phone permanently. On LinkedIn, dude, you'd have to beg me to do anything on LinkedIn on my mobile phone. So it really depends on the individual. The stats say it's mostly mobile. That's why I just try and cater for both.
Cool. Alison?
Lovely. Thank you so much, Este. I loved your energy and I loved the tips. I've just written so much down here. Thank you. I think you've sort of answered my question. I was going to say, is it better to have an image in your text to break it up and attract people, or does that really depend on your audience from probably what you've just said a moment ago?
Yeah, it depends. It really just depends on your audience. So anything that looks like an ad, people seem to just scroll past. So I find a lot of times what businesses do is they take their brochure and they plonk it as an image. Where did you go, Sally? Alison?
Yeah.
There we go. Someone moved. So they take an image of their brochure and they plonk it as an image on. You're doing yourself but don't even bother. Do you know what I mean? You're just doing yourself a disservice. Firstly, because I can't read it, and secondly, because it's not interesting. But I've even used like those really animated animals that jump out of you in the screen type concepts, and it's still bombed. I'm like, dudes, okay. It's a really cool koala animal that's jumping out of the screen. What's wrong with you? So it really does just depend on your audiences. Mine like text, long text, and they like SlideShare. And it's very easy to do SlideShare. You go into Canva, and this is what a lot of folk don't, if you've got any content, articles, whatever, go and look at that article, go and take out 5 key points from that article, write a nice little post teasing about these are the 5 things that are drowning for you instance, the 5 things that have to be in your 30-second pitch, otherwise you will not convert your client. Check out below. And in there, then you just have 5 slides. And what you do, you go into Canva, you save it as a PDF, each one on a different slide. It saves as a PDF, you upload it as an article, and it makes people scroll. Those things for me, I mean, the last one I did sat on 59,000 views.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Is that as powerful as a video then? Oh, sorry to interrupt. Is that as powerful as you doing a video?
I don't do video because I hate them.
Okay, fair enough.
Is that just you? Or do you mean LinkedIn doesn't hate video?
No, I hate video. Yeah. I hate video.
Okay.
My copywriter is permanently like, Este, please can you, I'm like, which is weird because I'm permanently on Zooms all day. But the thing that, and sorry guys, I've only got 3 minutes left, I've got clients, but the thing that you just have to test, the olden days where they say you have to use an image and you have to use a video to get any types of traction on any social media platform, null and void.
Okay.
Test. Follow the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 strategy. Make sure that you get some, even if in the beginning you like your own post, it's okay. It really is okay. Right. But at least get a standard in where you are working off the same benchmark, so that then okay, well, I've done a video this week. I've gotten interaction within the first 2 hours and I've used these hashtags. Okay, so next week I'm going to use an image. Let me then see what the difference is. And your audience will immediately tell you what they prefer and what they like. But it's also not 100% a science. Sometimes we'll sit and go, and I can see when my copy writes, and then I'm just too lazy to change it. And I can see it, like this last one we did on boost sales. I could see it was like boring as hell. And I knew it was going to bomb, but I just was too tired to fix it. So I can see when a post is going to bomb. I really can. Anything to do with personal stuff, So, you know, when I spoke about my husband buying me a car vacuum cleaner, I think that thing got like 72,000 views. My husband bought me a car vacuum cleaner, but I brought it all back to, you know, why that was important in understanding your clients and so forth. So it's not like I was doing a cat meme type thing. It really was to show how my husband understands the things that make my heart pump and because it. But really just test, but try and keep your variables the same.
Okay. All right. Ralph, did you have a question?
It was real quick, Este. It was brilliant. Thank you. I'm going to have to watch this whole session again. Just how much time should we be allocating to LinkedIn every day?
If you're a newbie, yeah, I get this question all the time. If you're a newbie, then I actually think, you know what I'm going to do, Quentin? I'm going to give my process to your folk.
Okay. Thank you.
You know, the power process, the power process of what I do every single day.
The PDF?
So that I can just save you a whole lot of time. So that'll help you out, Rolf. I'll send it through to Quentin and so that we can share that with you guys. It delineates exactly how I do something weekly, daily. It's by time, by minute, it's going to take you slightly longer in the beginning. But once you get into the groove of things, you're probably looking about 45 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes in the afternoon. Quentin, just remind me.
Okay.
Thank you. Wow.
It's my secret sauce. Don't share it with anyone, people.
Fantastic.
Thank you. That's excellent.
All right. Este,
I have got to run. I'm
you
sorry.
Did not disappoint.
It was so
Thank
cool
you
spending
so
time
much.
with you.
You are amazing. Thank you for sharing all of that sort of stuff. Yeah, we have recorded this. We'll put it up on the group and I can share the video with you if you like. Thank you, Este.
Awesome. Bye, everyone. Connect with me on LinkedIn and then ask me what you need to ask.
Cool.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Good to see you. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you.
All right. Not often that we get a guest speaker just hit and run like that.
Yeah,
that was excellent.
Really excellent, and so there's lots of advantage of being a member of Next Level. One of which you'd get the process. Anyway, so
you can only get the process if you join Next Level.
If Este is gone, we are guest speakers. We don't pay them. They are all voluntary. However, if you would like to engage with her, please do. You can connect via Quentin or the person who brought you onto the group, or you can go to her LinkedIn page. If you just Google World's Best LinkedIn Advisor, I'm sure you'll probably find her, or Este Pretorius. So thank you very much, guys, for coming on. I think, but do that, please reconnect. And I think I just want to promote Alison again, because it's so much connected with what Este is doing. If you're battling to get your first avatar together as to who you are and what you do and how you should do that, please reach out to Alison. She's on the group at the moment. I'm sure we can find you on LinkedIn, Alison, or yes?
Yes, you can. Yeah, it might not be quite up to date. I think I may need to do something with it, but yes, you can. It'd be lovely to get to know you. Thank you.
Right, and Alison can help you put your pitch, or what are you, who am I, and do that in a few seconds or a few minutes or whatever it needs to be. She's an expert on doing that. Okay, so those of you who joined us today, thank you very much. We really appreciate you. Hopefully you got some value out of that. Quentin, thanks again for hosting the event and for bringing Este to us. Really appreciate your time and effort into everything. Otherwise, have a great week. To the Next Level members, we will see you next week. Please look on the list to see whose accountability session it is, and you will be up.
Chase and Jeff.
Chase and Jeff. Okay, very good. All right, Jeff, it sounds like you got an hour. Okay, guys, we will see you all. We will see you next week.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Lovely. Thanks,
Thank you so
everybody.
much.
Cheers,
Bye.
everyone. Thank you.
Cheers, everyone. Thank you.